Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Mike Kollin at MikeKollin.com. Okay, so I came across another Stoic video on Stoicism today. Although he didn't introduce it as that, but then when I looked at his channel, it said Stoic. So I think there's a kind of a huge, I think, mistake or misunderstanding that a lot of guys are making. So one of the things we learn in NLP is you really don't do things consciously, okay? And especially using NLP and hypnosis techniques, there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of techniques. So it's like, well, how do you know which technique to use? When, do you memorize all this stuff? And they're like, no. What you do is you condition it into yourself to where it just becomes natural. Alright, so here's the difference. I'm going to make it really, really simple. When you're in your left brain, you're in your thinking brain. This is not stoicism, and that's what I'm talking about. A lot of men are like, yeah, I'm stoic, I'm following the rules. Step 1, step 2, step 3. No, the left brain is what we call the little boy brain. I know you guys are very proud of your logic, but logic is a smaller form of intelligence, okay? Your logical brain needs to be told what to do, meaning you're a follower. See, the left brain processes information through rules, structure, and organization. So if you're in your left brain, you're a follower. Okay, you are looking for approval. That's the word that I'm looking for. And you have this constant question mark because you don't know. Because the knowing brain is the right brain. Now, when you're in your left brain, you are connected to the logical nervous system or the linear nervous system, okay? So here's the deal. A woman can see it when you're in your linear nervous system or foveal. There's the peripheral foveal. It depends on whether you're talking to an eye doctor, a psychologist, a neurologist. They use different terms for the same thing. So we'll stick to foveal and peripheral, okay? So you have the peripheral nervous system, which is when you're relaxed, which is when you're conscious, you're in the present moment, okay? This is stoicism. When you're thinking, okay, so I was listening to this guy's video and he's saying, what you got to do is you got to play hard to get. You got to like disappear once in a while. See, that's playing little boy games, okay? Here's the difference. When you play little boy games, she can tell. She can tell by your energy, like, oh, there's that word energy again. That's a word that you just don't understand. She can look in your eyes and look in your forehead and your body language and go, oh, he's playing little boy games. It's obvious. Here's why. Because you're always looking for approval. And you're like, well, no, I'm not. Well, here's what you're looking for. You're looking to see if it's working. Did this work on her? The minute you do that, boom, you're looking for approval. It's the same thing. You're looking to see, is what I'm doing working on her? Okay, so here's the deal. A lot of guys know, like, don't look for approval. Like, you're taught that, okay, from these Stoic videos. The problem is, as long as you're in your left brain, you are always looking for approval because that's what the left brain does. It's always looking at things in terms of right or wrong, either or. Is it right or is it wrong? The minute you have that question, the minute you are in that processor, you're looking for approval. She can also see in your forehead that you have a question mark. I don't know. What do you think? Did it work? Is it working on you? These are all different forms of looking for approval. Okay, let me explain something. Let me just have a little faith here, guys. See, the idea is to snap you out of that. See, if you have to think of what to do and what to say and what not to say, you're in the approval-seeking brain. See, the left brain is about lists. 1, 2, 3, step 1, step 2, step 3. Whenever you're in the list brain, you are thinking and you are asking questions and you have like that question mark on your forehead and you don't even know it because you've lived there so long that you think this is normal. Now, here's the part I want you to really listen to right here. Then I have a clip of Abenev talking about the question mark. Okay, so here's the challenge. Now, I'm going to use the Bible, but I'm not getting religious on you, so don't worry about it. Now, here's the thing about the Bible. When I started learning about right brain communication, right brain, functioning, processing, and it's called the internal brain. The left brain is called the external brain. Well, I started reading the teachings of Jesus, and I was like, well, wait a minute. These are all right brain words. See, there's a right brain language, guys. When you come in and take the course, you're going to be like, holy shit. And you'll see it in poetry. You'll see it in music. You'll hear women in the grocery store line using these words. Women use them all the time. Your brain, the left brain, just couldn't process them, and therefore the words went over your head. You thought, oh, that's super fluff. They're not actually saying something. No, they actually are. It's literally like speaking a different language, like Spanish or German or Italian or whatever. So the words are called internal words. Like the phrase "look within," that means to go inside. That's an internal phrase. Well, Jesus uses words like the Lord resides within the temple, right? So and then he says that the body is the temple, and then he says the Lord resides within the temple, meaning the Lord resides within you. So whether you believe that or not, I don't care. That's not the point. But the point is he's using internal language. Okay? Now here's the deal. Number one, when you read the words, you're like, oh, that's right brain. That's internal language. And then when you look at his pupils, whenever you see pictures of Jesus, his pupils are huge. When you're in your right brain, the further you go into the right brain, the larger your pupils become. The further you go into the left brain, the smaller pinpoint they become. Like eye of the needle. Have a little faith here, guys. I'm gonna show you something that you never knew was happening. It's something that I learned during these 5-week NLP trainings, and one day I was like, oh, and I got it. All right, here's what it is. The left brain is about rules, structure, and organization. The right brain is about emotions, love, and social connections, relationships. So it's about love and relationships, okay? And the 5 senses, emotions. So it's the emotional processor. So here's the deal. So the left brain it processes information through rules, structure, and organization, what we call logic. Okay, it's got order. That's logical. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Okay, number 1, that's not romantic. But number 2, here's what happens. When you read, let's just take this and I'll go to another subject. I'll go to Stoicism or whatever. When you read the teachings of Jesus through your left brain, there's got to be some rules in here. So even if there's no rules, the left brain will make up rules. It will make up steps. Like, here's the rules, here's the steps you got to follow, because this is how it processes information. It could read a fucking poem and do that. It structures it, it organizes it, because that's what it does. And the left brain is also the right or wrong brain. It's either or thinking. It's either A or it's B. The scientific method. Literally, guys. Here's all I'm saying. And again, I'm going to use the teachings of Jesus as an example, because you can prove just by the words he uses that he's using the right brain. He's speaking a right brain process, meaning right brain stuff. But when a left brain male or being reads the teachings of Jesus, they don't hear what he's saying. They're hearing logic. They're hearing rules. They're hearing structure. When that's not what Jesus isn't doing at all. He's doing the complete opposite. He's saying, no, it's not about following rules. It's not about structure. It's about emotions and feelings. It's about compassion. It's about love. So here's the point. When I learned to open up to my right brain, when I started reading the Bible, the whole thing changed. It was like, what the hell is this? It's like it was a completely different book. Now, at this point, I'd read the Bible from beginning to end probably 7 times. When I went through my awakening and opened up to my right brain, holy shit, I'm looking at the Bible going, wait a minute. I had to call my pastor and say, hey, I either get the Bible or I don't. And he's kind of laughing, because that's part of the process, is opening up to your right brain. Because the right brain, now watch this, it's the emotional, creative, spiritual brain. Because it processes information through your 5 senses: see, hear, feel, smell, and taste. And that gives you emotions and feelings and senses. This is what a woman means when she says tune in to your senses. Now here's the deal. The left brain is always asking questions. I don't know. What do you think? I don't know. Because it's the external brain. The right brain is the knowing brain. I don't mean egotistically, like I know everything. No, it's just like it knows what it knows. And when it doesn't know something, it goes, okay, well, I'm going to listen to understand. The left brain is egotistical. It's either or. It's either I'm right or I'm wrong. I don't want to be wrong, so I got to prove that I'm right, which means I got to prove that you're wrong. So the left brain is a pain in the ass. It kills love, it kills emotions, it kills relationships. Now here's the deal. When you're in the right brain, you can see when someone has that question mark on their forehead, when they're not sure, when they're looking for approval. It's obvious. Now okay, let me go back a little bit. So when you're in your right brain, you hear and read things in a certain way. When you're in your left brain, you're hearing something completely differently. That's all I'm saying. So here's the problem. And now we learned this in NLP. They're like, well, the problem is if you teach it to them while they're in their left brain, they're not going to actually hear what you're saying. They're going to hear the left brain version of it. But if you're trying to say the right brain stuff, you got to get them to open up to the right brain. So when you logical guys, are listening to the Stoic stuff, you're not hearing what it's actually being said. In fact, the people there's a video right now. He's a young man. He's very logical. See, you can tell the logical Stoics by their voice because it's all egotistical and logical. And step 1, step 2, step 3. They don't. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys right now. That is not not Stoicism. But you will swear to your life that's what's being taught when it's not. And this is the ultimate dilemma between men and women. She's in a right brain processor, which is a circular expanding processor, which filters information through the 5 senses: see, hear, feel, smell, and taste. So she says these words out of her right brain, meaning right brain stuff. You unconsciously pull them over to your left brain and filter and process it through your logic, your rules, structure, and organization, and you literally rearrange, rechange, and give different meaning and definitions to the same words. So she's saying A, meaning A, and your left brain changes the meaning to every word she said to B. So you're truly hearing B, and you will argue to death, this is what she's saying. She's like, no, that's not what I'm saying. And she'll literally argue with you. And I'm kind of looking at you like, dude, listen to what she's saying. She's literally telling you that's not what she means. Our 2 different brains give 2 completely different meanings to the same words. She's saying A and you're hearing B. And this is the same thing you're doing with everything. If you can't learn how to open up to your right brain, you're not going to hear the other side of the fence. So here you are listening to all these Stoic videos, and they're telling you, don't do this. When a woman does this, don't do that. All you're doing is playing little boy games. You're the one that's playing games. I'm going to give you an example. So first, though, before I go there, when you're in your left brain, you have this question mark on your forehead. And everybody can see it. Everybody can see it except for you and the other guys that have the question mark. Let me think. That's the question mark. When you're in your right brain, this is the brain of knowing from physical experiences. So you know when you know, and you know when you don't know, which is knowing. When you're in your left brain, you don't know if you know. You don't know if you don't know. You're just lost. And women will never follow that. That's what I'm talking about. So now let's get to the clip of Abenev right now. Now, it was a therapeutic intervention that I did with Abenev to help him finally snap into his right brain and get into the place of knowing versus needing approval and validation. So here's the difference. If you're working hard not to get approval, not to get validation, you're still seeking validation. Once it's done, it's completely gone. You never even think about it again. You never do it again. It's just not there. But if you're fighting this, well, it's because you're doing it from your left brain. Now, listen to what I say in this video clip with Abenev.
There's a lot of different reasons, and we're going to talk about one thing we did with the benefit. So as you were talking about it, I saw something. And I don't know how to say I saw it. It's more like an energetic thing. It's like, oh shit, it's right there. It's like, I got it. But I think I got it because his energy was ready to heal at that time. Does that make sense now that you look back? Or if it doesn't, that's fine.
Yeah.
You see it?
Mm-hmm.
So what happened was I noticed... God, how do I say this? Okay, this is how to say it. Abenev was disconnected from himself. Would you say there's some truth to that?
Yeah, a lot of truth.
A lot disconnected.
Yeah.
And you had that question mark thing going on. Where am I?
Oh, yeah, 2 or 3 question mark things going on. Because I felt so alienated from myself. Sometimes it was so bad that sometimes I would be walking down the street and end up somewhere completely where I didn't want to be and just be like, how the hell did I get here?
Right, dissociated.
Now here's the deal. The left brain is the dissociated brain. And this is the brain where you're literally disconnected from yourself. And this is why you have that question mark. Now here's the deal. I'm going to say it again because I've been working with clients my whole life. And I went through it myself. Most men have no idea they're doing the question mark thing. Because when you're in that part of your system, you don't know. Because that's the system that doesn't know. And that's kind of like the irony of it all is you don't know that you don't know, but you try to act like you know, and everyone can see that you don't know. So when you drop down inside and connect to your internal side, that's where you get your knowing. That's when you know what you know and you know what you don't know. And that's also when it's okay not to know everything. Where at the left brain, you got to feel like you got to prove to everyone how you know everything and you understand everything. And people are just looking like, okay, man. So I'm watching these Stoic videos and they're telling you things like, women gotta, see the thing is like most men think you gotta earn their love. Well, you don't have to earn their love. Women inherently feel like they have to chase you. And if there's no chase, then, they get bored and they lose interest, which is true. And then the guy goes on to say, she feels like she's got to work for your love. It's I forget, it's instinct or it's intuition or whatever he said. And he goes, and so what you do is, you just don't show up for a while. Just for 2 or 3 days, don't respond to her phone calls and don't do this and don't do that from your logical brain. Here's the deal. When you do that stuff from your logical brain, she's going to hear it in your voice. Well, what do you mean, Mike? Hear what? I don't know. Maybe the logical tone? And that's another thing. Men are so logical. You've been stuck there for so long, you don't even know that you're doing it because this is normal to you. Not only that, but that's the disconnected brain. When you go to the right brain, you connect yourself. You can hear, see, and feel what you're saying. You become very aware of it. Now, here's the difference between Stoicism, actually, no. All these videos, this is Stoicism. No, it's not. That shit they're telling you is not Stoicism. I'm fucking telling you. If you have to memorize a bunch of lines and openers, if you have to memorize a bunch of rules. Oh, by the way, the left brain is about rules. Oh, wait, rules. There's that word again. Rules, structure, and organization. It's also the memorization brain. It is not the thinking brain. It memorizes information and it pukes it back out. That's all it does. It regurgitates stuff. There's no thinking. And women can see it. They're like, oh, okay, so you're just spitting it. Well, philosopher so-and-so said, and she's looking at you like, oh, so you just memorized something someone else said. There's no original thought, which is a right brain function. So let's bring everything back to being natural and normal so you don't have to think. See, thinking is exhausting. And here's the thing. When you're in your thinking brain, you're not in your feeling brain. Why do you want to have sex with a woman? Because it feels good. But Mike, I'm logical. I don't care about feelings. So why do you want to have sex with a woman? Because it is a step 1, step 2 logical experience? No, because it fucking feels good. Men seek feelings so bad, they will literally work 60 to 80 hours a week to buy her flowers and roses and pay for expensive dinners and chrome rims and all that shit. You want to feel good. And there's this unspoken rule that, well, I'm not allowed to feel unless I'm with a woman, because then I wouldn't be a man.
But the more I worked with Mike and the more I was able to, connect with myself inside and become internal, it didn't really matter all that much if they were looking at me or not. Mm-hmm. It's like, if I feel good, then I feel good. And I think I said this in the last video. You're getting a girl because you want to feel good anyway, so why not just feel good?
Now, isn't that the damn truth? So here's the deal. Here's how it works. When you feel good, when your awareness is inside your body, women come to you. When you are looking to a woman to make you feel good, she's looking at you going, oh, he doesn't feel good. I don't want to be around that. And that's what guys don't understand. It works the other way around. See, you ever heard like the whole thing about manifesting? Even if you don't believe in it, that's fine. But just understand a concept, because this concept is what switches everything when it comes to women. People who feel good, like you just walk around, I feel good. Women want to be around that. But if you're like Mr. Stoic and okay, this is my point right here. Here it is, right here. Every Stoic video I've seen, they talk like this, very logical. The right brain cannot stand that shit. Every client or person I've talked to on the phone who talks about stoicism, the minute they talk about it, they talk like this. Women don't like that. It means you're completely dissociated and disconnected from yourself, which is what Abhinav was talking about. When you reconnect with yourself is when women want to be around you, because they like that feeling. See, when you're dissociated, that's essentially what a psychopath is. And I'm not kidding. Abhinav used to be so disconnected, it was kind of scary to be around him. And women didn't want to be around that shit at all. They were like, fuck that. It was kind of weird, to be quite honest with you. It was like, this dude was so disconnected. And I was kind of like that, like, man. But I felt sorry for the kid, and I wanted to help him out. And luckily for him, it worked out. Alright, so the right brain is connected to the five senses because the right brain is the five senses processor. The left brain disconnects from the five senses. It's all about logic. There's no emotions or feelings over here, Mike. Well, here's the process a woman goes through in order to have sex with you. First, she connects mentally, and then she drops down to her emotions, her heart. So forehead, number 1, I'm dropping my finger down to my chest. Number 2, and then number 3, groin. You have to go into the emotions before she'll go into sex. And if you aren't there already, she can't go there. If you're stuck up in your dissociated logical brain, she starts to get dissociated. That's the worst feeling in the world for women. It makes a woman feel empty emotionally. You want to scare a woman away? Do that. But Mike, it's all about rules and structure and organization. No, it's not. Now here's the shift that happens. Instead of doing things because, well, this is the rules, this is how I'm supposed to do it, Mike. No. What happened with Abhinav when he reconnected with himself, something radically changed. Okay, I'm going to see if I can find an image. Hold on. Okay, so this is not what he used to look like. It used to be completely like the sides, just one, like the number 1. He would just go and pay this barber like $20 or 25 or whatever. He would just shave him almost bald, like leave like a 1 or a 2, okay, on the top. After he started working with me, he started to do a little style with the hair a little bit longer on the top and then that little line. And then in the video that you just saw, his hair is really thick on the top, short on the sides. He's buying dress shirts. He's buying dress shoes. Here's what happened. Here's the difference. He went from this kid that didn't know what to do, didn't know where he was going, had no style. Now, believe it or not, he's actually starting to get some style in this image. Now, this was his beginnings. He started to transform, started to lean back. Then he took it even further. This was after I didn't talk to him for almost a year. He's wearing leather jackets. He's got a black dress shirt. He's letting his hair. He went to a stylist. All of a sudden, he's beginning to develop himself, which is your right brain. Yourself is your right brain. So when a woman says, just be yourself, I am being myself. I'm logical. That's not yourself. That's the disconnected you. That's the dissociated brain. Now, by the way, this isn't me making this up. Go study psychology. Your left brain is the dissociated, disconnected brain. The right brain is who you truly are. Now, here's the difference between, okay, Mike, I'm going to not talk to her for 3 days. I'm going to follow the Stoic rules. To all of a sudden, he got a new job. He was taking a class at the local college. All of a sudden, he had a hobby. He started going to movies. He started dressing. He started, hey, I'm going to go shopping, man. I'm going to do this. He started going to clubs. All of a sudden, he had this thing called a life. He started. Now you gotta understand, this kid never went out to lunch. He never went to like Chipotle or a restaurant or nothing. He would just always eat at home, all by himself, all alone. He didn't have a life. All of a sudden, he's like, "Hey man, if I get this job, I can make more money. If I make more money, I can get a nicer place. I can get my see." Now he has his own place. He started renting his own place. Now I can start buying nicer clothes. So all of a sudden, life became a hobby. That's what women are looking for. They're looking for a man who's alive, who's living. Now here's the deal. When you are alive and living, let's say you call a girl like, "Hey man, do you want to go to the movies?" No, I'm not interested." "Oh, okay." So then he goes and calls someone else, or he goes by himself. The next day he might call her again. "No, he's too needy." "Oh, okay." And he just leaves. There's no sense of, "Oh, she doesn't want me." All that stuff goes out the window because there's a lot of women out there. But Mike, I'm a Stoic and I can't meet women. When you can meet women, you don't have to not call her for 3 days because you don't give a shit. She doesn't want to go out with me? I don't care. I'm going to go out with Sally. I'm going to go out with Sarah. I'm going to go out with Tina. Or I'm going to go to the clubs with Mike. Or I'm going to go meet a girl at the coffee shop. There's no waiting around. And there's no, "Well, I'm going to be Stoic and wait at home all alone by myself for 3 days. And then I'll call her." If that's the shit that you're doing it wrong. And they can see it a mile fucking away. Like even in Bennett right here, the minute a girl sees him, she's like, "Oh, he has life." Why? Because he's in his right brain. Look at his cheeks. Look at his eyes. Mellow, relaxed, round, soft, smooth versus hard and angular and uptight. God, I wish I had a picture of him before he started gaining this way of being. Because I'm telling you, night and day difference. He started working out at the gym too. He never worked out in his life. He just started going to the gym 3 days a week. Started lifting weights, started doing cardio, started stretching, all by himself. You're like, "So you showed him the stuff?" No, I didn't show him. When I saw him, he went from this kid that got the number one buzz on top and sides to all of a sudden he's got a black leather jacket. He's got his hairstyle. He's just casual. You begin to do this because you get interest in life because you become alive. Because your right brain is the life brain. It is the alive brain. You start to enjoy life. Like all of a sudden, like, "Man, I want to buy a bike. Oh, I want to go hiking. Oh man, I want to start bowling, or I want to start doing fish tanks." See, some guys, pickup artists say, get a fish tank and have a hobby. If it's fake, she's gonna know. If you're doing the fish tank to get her, it's not gonna work. She can see it a mile away. Okay, so I had a buddy, Andrew, who had a fish tank. And I remember every time we went out, he would tell the girls, "Man, you should come over and look at my fish tank. It's a really awesome fish tank." And every time he did that, the girls would look at him like, "What? Why?" "Well, I've got a hobby." See, women, you hear from these pickup artist courses, which is true, is that if you have a hobby, women like that because it shows that you have life. But the problem is, it wasn't a hobby. He didn't give a shit about the fish. It was just an excuse to get her to come home with him. So one day I was over at his house. I'm like, "Hey, show me this fish tank of yours." Yep, it had not mold, but damn, I forget the word, but the green stuff that grows on the side. It looked like shit. It smelled horrible. The fish had freaking ick on them. And I'm kind of looking at it like, yeah, some hobby. You're not even into it. And women can see that a mile away. See, if you have a hobby, you do it because you fucking love it. Not because, I'm trying to get the girl. See the difference? There's fake and there's real. All right, let's take me. I'm 57 years old. I've got a fixie bike. I'm always fixing it up. I'm always getting new brake pads and new this, new rims, new grips, new fucking whatever. It's because it's my hobby. I'm washing it. I'm cleaning it. And I ride it across the Golden Gate Bridge at least twice a week because I'm a freaking addicted to it. I can't stop. Now, here's the deal. If anyone knows me, I hate the cold. I mean, I fucking hate it. But you know what? That was about Christmas Day or day after New Year's Eve or something. It was cold. It was foggy, really foggy, like insanely foggy, and there was like a drizzle. And I hate those conditions. And I mean, I hate those conditions. But you know what? I was like, I gotta ride across that bridge. Like, I am addicted to riding that bridge. In fact, I'm gonna do it right after this video. I'm gonna go get my haircut, and I'm going into the city. All right. Here's the deal. If you have to tell a girl you have a hobby to attract her, You don't have a hobby. And just like me and the girls at the clubs would look at my buddy Andrew like, why is she telling me she has a fish tank? It was the weirdest thing in the world. It wasn't like he was talking about it like, man, okay, I actually got hooked on fish tanks for about 12 years, and holy shit, my whole living room, bedroom had like breeding tanks, and I had like this 55-gallon tank and a 38-gallon. I had a 12-gallon tank, I had a 10-gallon. And then I had this little shrimp breeder thing to feed the babies, and all this shit going on. Here's the deal. When I talked about it, it was like, man, I got this little fish tank, and I've got this certain filter on it. Here's what it does. And I was going to, whereas Andrew's just like, yeah, man, I got this cool fish tank. You should come look at it. Like, these are I'm into sunglasses because of riding. This is a $130 pair of sunglasses. People are like, why would you spend that so much? Because it's a hobby, because I'm into it. Just like the fish tanks. That's another thing I noticed about the fish tanks was I was spending way too much on those things. My riding hobby is way cheaper. Man, those fish tanks were costing me, I mean, hundreds and hundreds of dollars, probably $300-400 a month. I'm not kidding. It was a lot of money.
You know what it is? It's inspiring. Anytime I kind of get down or bored, I come across the bridge twice a week. It is just turns everything around, gets my engines going, motivation, inspiring. It's just really, really cool. It brings you back to life. Energizes you.
You know what it is, guys? It's exhilarating. So here's my point. You won't, how to explain this? You won't have to set a timer of, okay, so she's ignored me the last 2 times, so I'm going to ignore her for 3 days. You don't do that. You're just like, fuck yeah, I'm going to go for a ride today. Okay, I got to go to work. I got to do this. I got to pay my bills. Man, I want to make extra money. What can I do to make more money? Maybe I can get a raise. Maybe I can do a side gig. Maybe I can. You're doing so much shit that you don't even think of, oh, she didn't go out with me. My feelings are hurt. Or, got to be stoic, Mike. Got to follow the 3-day rule. Can't call her for 3 days. I mean, you don't give a shit about that stuff. Now, here's what happens. You get so caught up in your life because you have a job, you have bills, you got a hobby, you're doing things that you like. Now you got some style. Now you're buying leather jackets or whatever you're doing. Now you're going to clubs, you're going out to dinner. You got friends. You're just living your life. So if some girl blows you off, it's like you don't notice it. And next thing you know, 3 or 4 days have gone by, and she's calling you saying, hey, where have you been? And you're like, oh, hey, what's going on? And literally in your mind, you're like, well, wasn't that just like a day ago that I called you? And she's like, no, it's been like 4 days or it's been like a week. You're like, oh, okay. And it's not like you're faking it going, oh, well, wasn't that just like yesterday? See, they can hear it in your fucking voice. It's literally because you get so caught up in your life. That's what a woman is looking for. And your voice has enthusiasm. It has, and here's the real word, it has life. Not because, Mike says to talk this way. No, that's not what I'm fucking saying. You'll naturally do it. Nobody will have to teach you how to fucking do it. Let me think. Smack! Don't think. Feel. Master Bruce Lee. See, you can fake having a life, or you can actually open up to life. That's what I teach you how to do. That's one core pillar. You want to have an awesome life? Take my course. I'm an NLP trainer, master Ericksonian hypnotherapist. I studied psychology at Arizona State and also at Chico State. I've read over 300, probably closer to 500 human behavior books, psychology, hypnosis, NLP, timeline therapy, human sexuality, and on and on and on. Guys, I'm really good at what I do. I'm also a certified master practitioner of timeline therapy, also certified in energy healing and Reiki, Huna, pranic healing. Guys, I am really, really good at what I do. If you want to shift, if you want to heal emotionally, if you want to change your life, if you want to step into life and live, get a hold of me.
Anything else you want to say?
If getting girls is good, but getting happy is even better. It's more than happiness, though. I would say it's fulfillment. It's if you feel like you're missing something in your life and you wake up every day looking for it, he's got it.
There's stoicism and then there's ostracism. Be awesome. That's it, guys. Kick ass in life. Start by buying my book, Cracked Female Code, and then get the girl, keep the girl. Alright, guys, that's it. Click subscribe, click the like button, go ahead and make a comment, and remember, go to crackedfemalecode.com and get started. Buy Crack the Female Code right now.